listening to your broadcast now and then, but for a while I was off,
Yeah,
and I follow many teachers and stuff.
yeah,
So one thing that I just wanted to take hold of this opportunity to talk to you,
yeah,
and there was something on my mind, but it emerged out of satsang with other teachers. So one teacher actually, but the thing is that is it necessary once you suppose you have the discovery of consciousness and awareness, is it necessary to always bring it to the fore? Like, in a sense, do you have to force yourself to do that? There's a natural pull towards it, but is it necessary to always have your sights on consciousness and awareness and, like, in a very vigilant way?
yeah. What, in order to wake up?
I don't. I don't. I don't know what wake up exactly. I know, I get what those words mean now, consciousness and awareness. So if that is what you would call waking up, then yes, if that is what you call waking.
I know,
yes.
it's so many
is it
different.
necessary to be like that?
Yeah, there's so many different languages, right? It's really hard to know what everyone means.
Yeah.
So,
Like this sense of do I exist,
yeah,
and what becomes evident then if I ask myself that question.
yeah,
This is what I've been taught is consciousness. And if I were to ask myself, what am I aware? And how, then that answer is still a yes, but you have no perception or a concept of it. You're not seeing some perception or a concept when saying, yes, I'm aware, but it's undoubtable that you are aware. So these two discoveries, and is it necessary? I mean, the thing is, like, you either get that or you're stuck in language.
yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
So
But going back to what you originally said about, like, is it important to do the practice of putting consciousness in consciousness, or the consciousness in the I am?
Yeah.
And it really depends, I would say, on what desired outcome you want. So if the desired outcome is to become a more peaceful person, then I would say that that's a really good practice, to become more peaceful, to become more settled. What's happened in most of society and most people is that they're very lost in thought, and they're very lost in their narration of what's happening. And the good thing about the I am practice, or putting your attention back into consciousness, is it's breaking that neurotic, continuous stream of thinking that's kind of making you feel like you're dreaming your way through life. It's like you're not really here, you're lost in your stories of what's happening here. And then also the other thing that I think it does is it helps you become more conscious of the body. So it actually, weirdly, even though there is no body, it makes you become more embodied on the human level. And I think on the human level, these are two really good practices to do to calm the person down, but being aware that the one that's enacting that is an idea as well. And that consciousness, like what you truly are, is always free. So it's always dependent on what you want. If you want to become more peaceful on the human level, then I think that that's a really worthwhile exercise.
I mean, actually, it's not clear to me. I mean, I don't even want to do it like really badly. It's just that one teacher told me that that's what you should do. And
what do you generally want? Like from presenting yourself to spirituality, what is it that you would like to obtain from it?
Not so sure. I mean, like, to start off with, it was just because I just wanted to be done with all my suffering.
Right.
But eventually it becomes like it just leaves you sort of like without any goals or without. I mean, none of that makes sense after a point. It's. I'm not sure. No, I mean, I'm getting like really. I mean, this is the first time we're talking, so yes, I guess that's the thing. So
yeah. But this
I'll
this might
I'll
be
try to
this might be a
explain.
good exploration for you to do rather than the
Yeah.
I am practice. Is just you can just list out like what is it that you want from spirituality, because I think that this is an important thing, because you will unconsciously go towards what you want. Like you can't help it. So it's like in your body, you're going to unconsciously find yourself moving in that direction. And so it's good to actually analyze and to have a perspective on what it is that we want. Like when I first got into spirituality, I would have said it was for enlightenment and freedom, but there was also a whole host of other things. What I also wanted, like one main thing, which I was unconscious of, was that I wanted to be able to eradicate all my wants and my desires so I could get on with other people better. If I had no wants and I had no desires, then I thought I could have more peaceful relationships, but I wasn't conscious of that. So part of me, I was attracted to no self so I could tolerate other people. And that's a really good, important thing to understand about your personality and about what you're heading towards, because that's not really a healthy want. It's actually, if I go deeper than that, like, so that's maybe more the surface one. What I wanted is to be able to connect with people on a more healthy level. But because I wasn't naming that, and because I was just letting my unconscious drive me in that way, I was actually trying to become invisible to other people and to relationships. So I think it's really important understanding what these bodies are actually asking for. Like what it is that you actually want. Sometimes I find that people come to my talks because they actually want friendship, or because they want a mother figure, or because they lack a certain amount of affection and they see that in me, or because they feel like I'm unattainable in some way, and that triggers something in childhood. There's all these different dynamics. So just becoming really clear, like what is it I want? And also wants are always changing, so they're not something that's a steady flow. They change dependent on your emotions, your moods. So doing it throughout the day, like what is it that I want, and coming back to that. And rather than saying you should do this practice and fight against yourself, it's like, what is it that I really want? And then when you find what you want, you'll find that it's much easier to do practices or to motivate yourself to do things.
With me, the thing was that I was like suffering a lot and I wanted a way out of it.
Yeah.
And a teacher introduced me to a way, like without like discarding, not using the mind at all, not relying on the mind. And that's all so much suffering that he taught me. And I didn't have a way to sort of practice that path. It was more of stopping another practice of going to the mind. And after that, it was all just whatever happens, let it happen, as long as you're not caught in language, something like that.
Yeah.
So after a point, it was just like I liked how things were unfolding. Even now, I like it. And it seems to me that I have the discovery of what he was trying to teach me. But after a point, he started talking about like a very intense kind of devotion and also surrender, and somewhat to give up yourself to the service of God, always by keeping his light, like always being aware of who you are, or being aware of God at every moment. Like give it up to that, give up this me completely in service to God. So that seemed a bit too extreme for me, but I sort of get why. I don't know, maybe I don't get why he's doing it, but it just seems I was not here for a month also, and then I started attending those sessions again, and that disparity, that was something that was on my mind. And I just was on YouTube, I saw that we were finally live, you were live and I was free at the same time, so I just came here and unloaded all of this on you. But I don't know, am I giving you a flavor of what's
it sounds really beautiful, like what he says, like giving yourself up to God.
Yeah.
Like that is really, because it is that in a way. It's really letting like, I think this is what I mean by the authentic self. It's like letting that energy speak through these bodies. But it's like you might not want that. There might be, your character might still, or there might be energy in you that wants something else, and that's totally allowed.
Yeah, there's some ascetic character to him now. That's the thing that just sort of, because like when you said, I enjoy really good English tea. I get that. I enjoy some good food. I enjoy some many things. And I feel that, it is sort of like meant to be enjoyed, sort of. And why deny yourself that?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a feeling of wanting to maintain sensory pleasures, or the idea that doing that would get rid of sensory pleasures. I think that's an illusion. It's just what you lose. It's not the sensory pleasures as such, but what you lose is the attachment that will bring you any freedom. So that the tea or the whatever sensory pleasure it is will bring you that love of what you are now. Like what you've always wanted is the connection to God, is the connection to this moment. It's never actually been the food or the sexuality or the money or the alcohol or the drugs, whatever is liked. It's never actually been in that. So it doesn't mean that they can't be enjoyed. It's just that they lose that importance. And with that importance, so with believing that freedom is in an object, it does make it a lot more exciting. If you meet a woman or a man and you believe that freedom is in having a relationship with them, then you have like a really like electrified relationship in the beginning, but then it can often become very dramatic and difficult. But it's like, yeah, you complete me, you are my dream, you save my life, whatever the stories are. So it does take that element of like highness out of them, but it doesn't mean that the pleasures can't be enjoyed. It's that freedom is always right here as you are right now. That's all you've ever wanted.
Yeah. So you said both. It is required and it's not required kind of thing.
Sorry, say that again?
No, I mean, no, I felt that you said that, like when I asked you whether that asceticism, that renouncing of all sensual pleasures, is that really necessary? You started off saying that it is sort of, because all of them are, it's I mean, every quality is God's quality, something like that.
No, you don't have to renounce every sensual pleasure. It's renouncing that they will give you God. So to me, it's not about saying, okay, no more tea or no more sexuality. It's that they will give you God. God is here already. Your freedom, your love is already here. So the renouncing, if we want to call it that, is you see that all objects, all pleasures, all sensations, every form that arises is equal on the absolute level.
Yeah. And that doesn't translate into this body being very ascetic. No, it's not required. That internal
No, but for some people that happens. But that's not necessarily a requirement. But for some people, they do go through a period of cutting off a lot of things, and some people don't.
I see.
Yeah, it's so different for everyone. I feel like there's as many roads, as many paths as there is people and beings. Like, it's so unique. And then at the same time, there is no path.
Yeah.
There is just this moment.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Some other time.
Yeah, lovely to speak with you.
Lovely to talk to you too. Thank you.
You can meet yourself again now.